actually gonna crash us.
You all squad now, ain't that some shit? It's kind of funny.
Oh, the controls are inverted. I'm so sorry. Ladies and gentlemen, Battlefield is back. I think. So far. My name is Poet, and guys, I won't lie, Battlefield 6 has been a lot of fun. I've put a day into the game, in game time, and I think I'm about level 30 right now. It's been a ride, honestly, it's been a ride. It is a seriously cinematic game. Every match, I wish I was making that up, every match feels like a new experience. I've been having fun, but I think it's important we talk about some of the flaws it does have. I'm not going to be a negative Nancy, and the video isn't going to last forever because people out there on YouTube are already covering it. That being said, I'm not those guys, and I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass for 10 minutes so I make ad time money about how we need a battle royale and then zap my dog with a shot call. I'm just going to roll some footage of some of the matches I've played, and I'll also talk quickly about my opinion on what works well for the game and some of the things that don't. Starting off with something this game does well is just how it runs. Baseline, I mean, this should be a requirement for all games, but as we've seen historically with EA, it doesn't always pan out this way. I talked about how I've been around Battlefield for a long time, Battlefield 3, 4, 2042's launch. I think I was even around for Battlefield 1's launch, but I don't remember much of it. But I remember one thing all being the same between the launches, and that is that they were complete disasters. Horrible. This game's launch has been pretty much the opposite of what I remember all of those launches being. We don't have giant necks. We don't have falling under the map. Well, we do have falling under the map, but not as much as we did in Battlefield 3, so I can't really fault them for that. There are bugs that need worked out. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say, you know, it's perfect, but kudos to the team working on this game for ironing out a lot of the past issues that Battlefield games had at launch. Also, handling over 700,000 people on launch day is no small feat. So I again, hats off to the guys making sure those servers didn't shit themselves day one. I think we'll go back and forth between good and bad. So here's something really quick that's bad. I don't want to talk about it too much because people already are bitching about this all over the internet, but the bloom. Holy shit, is it bright on these maps when you look out a window. I didn't know that Pax Armada unlocked the orbital cannon weapon. Like, Jesus Murphy. Like I said, I know people have already been bitching about this, so I'm not going to say a whole lot more than what I already am. I just think they need to tone it down a little bit. The bloom is fine if it isn't going to blind me, you know, as bad as it has been. And the way that I've seen people complaining about it online, I'm sure it'll be fixed in like a week or something like that. I don't know. So this next one is both good and bad. I want to talk about the class dynamic. Some of the new changes they made make a lot of sense. I've seen a lot of rage about like support's med bag being also an ammo bag or like vice versa, and how they've changed things. At first I was kind of pissed off about it too. You know, I always played support in 3 and 4. I always liked the light machine gun and the ammo combo, and then obviously C4. But the more I played with it, the more that it kind of makes sense, you know. Support really feels like a support role now, you know. You support your team by healing them, reviving them, and giving them ammo, keeping them in the fight. Another change I want to talk about is the spawn beacons not being on recon, which again I find kind of strange, but I also understand why they did it. Assault was created to push the front lines, so it makes more sense for the spawn beacon to be closer to the front lines rather than on some mountain a billion miles away from the combat. The open gun system thing is something that I really don't know how I feel about. It's not bothering me as of right now. Honestly, most people seem to just be using guns that are supposed to be for their roles. Like, I'm not running into supports with sniper rifles or assaults with light machine guns, but I haven't really been paying much attention to what's been going on when I'm in a gunfight with these people, like what class they're running. The gunfights are pretty quick too, so I really don't think the movement or anything is as big of an issue as everyone thought it might be back in my previous video when everybody was freaking out about how they slowed the game down from beta. I don't know. I really can't tell if those changes are good or bad. I really just think that I haven't noticed them. Some of them make sense, and some of them I'm kind of like, I don't know the reasoning behind it. But again, it's not bothering me, so just something I wanted to talk about. Okay, there's one last bad thing I want to talk about in this video. And I think a lot of people are starting to kind of catch on to it, but we'll see. I feel that there's a lack of maps and guns in this game. Don't get me wrong, there are a decent amount of guns to start with, and the challenges to unlock some of them are not easy. And the guns that you have to start with, I mean, there's, like I said, there's a healthy list, but maybe I'm jaded. I'm comparing a lot of it to Battlefield 4's weapon list, where like each category had like well over a dozen rifles each, and there were like a dozen handguns. I can't get that image out of my mind. The challenges to unlock the guns I kind of like, but I'm gonna get to that in a minute. I want to go back to the maps. There are like 7 of them, I think, maybe 8 tops. The maps all have their moments. Some are really cool, sure, and some aren't, and that's okay. You need stinkers in the game, you know, to solidify things. Like, you know, nobody talks about No Shower Canal as much as they talk about like Caspian Border from Battlefield 3. Things like that, you know, it happens. Op Firestorm returning for the game, I think, did wonders. It looks freaking fantastic. It takes me back. It's like that scene from Ratatouille where he's like eating the ratatouille, and he, you know, the flashback. That's literally how I feel like on Operation Firestorm. It's great. But some of the other maps, specifically New Sobek City on Attacker's Side Breakthrough, is literal hell. You're lucky if you can make it past the second set of objectives, and I'm serious. Like, it doesn't matter how much coordination your team has, how hard you guys are pushing, you're gonna get rolled on that map. I think some tweaking of the objective points may fix that, as well as maybe some air support. Like, once people get on top of those buildings, it's really hard to get them down. So I think just something where we could maybe take down the buildings, or air support, or like maybe some hills where you can get some shots on them, like where you're equal level. I don't know. That's really not my job. I'm just spitballing. Now, going back to the gun challenges, I think that they're really cool that they added these challenges to unlock the guns, but some of the freaking challenges they added, oh my god. I'm primarily talking about the sniper one, where you have to shoot 300 people, and then also, like, I think it's like 150 headshots from over 200 meters away, when the only map you can realistically get good sight lines on for 200-meter headshots is Operation Firestorm. That is just ridiculous. I don't know if it was a TikTok or a YouTube video the other day, somebody broke down how long it was going to take people to get the final sniper rifle, and I think it came out to be like 10 plus hours of just Operation Firestorm sniping. That is insane. I'm down for a challenge, but if you're gonna put that kind of distance in the game, like to get headshots, at least make all of the maps have those types of sight lines so that you can realistically do it. Not every match, but at least every other match. Now, I want to end the video off with a positive, and that's something EA and DICE I don't think could have baked into the game. The community is so back, man. I've seen so many Battlefield memes and clips circulating the internet. The Battlefield friends are popular again. Coming home from work and getting on always leads to the same game where we just play for hours, and it's so nice. I mean, the freaking bipod knife is in the game. I mean, it's not an unlockable, but it's there. Come on. Somebody at DICE knows the core fan base is still out there and loves the old Easter eggs we used to get. And I really hope that they lean into that a little bit. It's also just so nice to have a game where I don't have to try and like sweat my ass off for kills or worry about a meta build, but I could still win my matches because I'm playing the objective. I know there are nerds out there, and I love you all to death. I know that there are nerds out there trying to find meta builds for guns, but that's just not me. I like running whatever I like and whatever I'm most comfortable with, and this game doesn't punish me for doing that. Overall, I've just enjoyed the time I've put on this game. Even the campaign, which is lackluster to say the very least. It's just a fun little thing to have in Battlefield again, despite its mediocrity. it just overall, like, it just feels like Battlefield again, and I'm happy. I really can't complain. This was a huge step in the right direction for the franchise, and I hope to God that they keep taking notes from how Battlefield 4 was handled through its lifetime. Anyways, boys, what do you think of the game? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked what you watched, do all the YouTube stuff, subscribe, tell me that I'm a nerd, tell me I yap too much, whatever. I've been Poet, and I will see you all in the next one.